Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Crow, Director of Community at NinjaOne. Hello, Dan Myers, our favorite dungeon master, our favorite product manager, herald of Saas backup, image and file and folder backup, all the backups. It's
Absolutely.
great to have you here.
Thanks for having me around. I am excited to show everyone what's new in the Saas backup integration world.
Which there is a lot of new things. And so thanks everybody for joining, our fellow ninjas. Thanks for taking time of your day. This is day 4 of 9.0 week. Again, we're covering all the things that are new and fresh and helpful in 9.0 and taking a chance here to take a little bit of a deeper dive. And so we've had links to an overview webinar. Earlier in the week, we dove into things like a fresh look at the IT asset management that's coming up, that's just getting started. Luke shared that. We talked about patch management and some of the new capabilities there, and also Mac OS MDM. But today is all about Saas backup, which of course has been a big thing for Ninja all year long. Dan, you've got a lot of things to share. I know the title of this, we talked about focusing on Google Workspace being a thing that is available now. And so obviously big news there. But I understand there's some other things you wanted to share too. So really up to you. What do you want to cover first?
There's a lot to cover here. So I want to start with our integration and start about some of the new product capabilities. So as you know, the Drop Suite team is now a part of our Ninja team, and it has been really awesome to have them with us. And so as part of our 9.0 release, we really start to show some of the fruits of that labor, of that combination of resources and teams, and the beginning of something actually becoming into the NinjaOne platform and having some good substance that we can share here. So let me go ahead and share my screen here and take a look at what we have to share today. Okay, so we're taking a look at the 9.0 screen today, and what we have the capability of doing is coming into our app section, the NinjaOne Saas Backup app. Now, this is already enabled here, but if you're a brand new customer that doesn't have Saas Backup today, this is ready for you to click Enable, choose the region that you would like to store your Saas Backup data, and get started right away. You'll be capable of coming in here to the Organizations tab. You'll be seeing all of your NinjaOne organizations here on the left-hand side, and you'll be capable of clicking this, clicking Enable, and as soon as you hit that save and continue, it is going to take you directly to that organization and ready to add your backup credentials so that you can handle backing up Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace. So one of Ninja Backup's claims to fame that I love telling people about is we are the quickest and fastest backup program to get up and running and started with. You saw me take about 5 clicks and talk through it in under 2 minutes to getting started running your backups. And now for customers that have already been utilizing the NinjaOne Saas Backup product, prior to this integration being available here, you're going to want to be coming to this organization linking tab, where you'll be able to click this button and link any existing Saas Backup organizations to their NinjaOne organizations here. This is going to be setting the foundation and framework for a couple of things. One, it's to allow you to go ahead and for any existing organizations that already have users provision and backups in progress to click a button and come directly to that Saas backup organization. Be prepared to view and restore files and emails ready to go here. So part of our integration, we want to focus on providing a very seamless experience. It's going to be coming in stages, but one of the key areas we want to focus on is reducing any type of logins that do need to happen. So once you have linked your organizations, you'll be capable of coming into each one of these and performing some of the actions that we're talking about here. So that is the main area of what is new in our integration here. All right. This sets us up in the future version to start looking at the beginnings of dashboards, actually showing you a bit more information so you don't have to come into the app section here always. Now, we talked about wanting to take a look at Google, and yes, we do have those capabilities here, right? So when you're ready to get started with Google, you'll be able to create that organization, click Add Backup, and sign in to Google Workspace here. What this is going to be doing is installing the Google Workspace Marketplace app in your Google Workspace here, okay? So after having that set up, honestly, the experience is so similar to Microsoft 365. After you've done the initial linking here, here's an organization that has this set up here, right? So we were capable of choosing who is being backed up. And, instead of saying OneDrive, we say G Drive, we say shared drive here. But we have that information present and available here for you to use, and you can still go ahead and view the inbox, take actions to go ahead and restore them back to where they came from here. So, the lovely part about this is now we can handle all of your Microsoft 365 backup needs and your Google Workspace needs here. So, excited to bring that. And we really appreciate all of your patience as we got that Google Workspace component connected here. Now, I also want to highlight that we have a brand new backup type available to our customers. It is available for Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace, and we're calling it the Archiver product here. Now, today, as you utilize the NinjaOne Saas backup portal here to back up your emails, your OneDrive, contacts, calendars, and SharePoint. So today in the standard Saas backup feature set, you're backing up email 12 times a day. Basically, every 2 hours is when this kicks off. OneDrive is being handled once a day. Okay. And with Archiver, we step things up a bit here. So instead of periodically backing up, we're using email journaling to back up every email as soon as it comes in, gets split to a journaling mailbox along with being delivered to the actual user's inbox, which means you have something called always on backup. And this is really important, especially for our customers that have specific compliance requirements. Okay. As part of Archiver, you also get the capability of actually setting custom retention, such as 7 years. Okay. So this is very important for a lot of compliance needs. And when you're saying that you need to keep emails for 7 years, taking backups every 2 hours just doesn't cut it here. You take a backup at 12, you take a backup at 2, but in the middle at the 1 o'clock hour, someone got an email and then they deleted it. That's not going to be backed up, and that's not fulfilling your compliance needs and requirements here. So we are capable of really handling some of those compliance frameworks and retention needs that customers have. Um, Along with that is our e-discovery and legal hold. So now that you're capable of actually creating these custom retention policies that can be tagged to a specific department, an entire site, or even an individual user, there are the needs at times for legal purposes to say, do not trim according to that 7 year retention. You've been served some document retention paperwork here, right? Legal hold allows you to stop the process of general retention from being trimmed so that you're preserving documents for any type of legal need here. And along with that, we have the capability of doing e-discovery searches. Oftentimes, when you're getting these legal hold requirements, you're basically also needing to give very specific criteria here, right? So you can choose which email accounts you are doing an e-discovery search on, in what date range, who was it from, who was it to, and if there's any specific keywords. You can use any or some of these types of capabilities here. So our Archiver SKU is really valuable and important to our customers that need these features here. It comes at an increased price, but it comes at an increased feature set that is really second to none.
Hey, Dan, so you mentioned the magic word price there, and I just wanted to jump in to step back a little bit and level set for some of the folks watching and ask the question there. Who all is watching that is already using Saas Backup, NinjaOne, or Dropsuite wise? And for those who aren't yet, who are interested, of course, talking to your account manager is the way to go about this, right? You can get all the info from them, get things enabled. But Dan, any other kind of broad overview for, let's just say, Ninja users who haven't dipped their toe into the Saas Backup yet? Like the best way to go about it, what that process looks like, ballpark pricing maybe?
Yeah, absolutely here. So as part of the Ninja model, we do not like to be gatekeepers, okay? We want you to be able to self-serve, self-enable, and get started using these products today here. So the easiest way for you to get started with any of our backup products is to come into that administration and app setting, to come in here to NinjaOne Saas Backup, click on that enable button, select that location, enable your first organization, have at it. Okay. Our account managers will check in with you. Hey, I see you're using some Saas Backup. How are you liking? Do you have any questions? Of course, please feel free to reach out to our support team, or if you want to proactively engage with your account manager, we are always happy to generate technical demos and come alongside with you here. But the great news about it is you can get started on your own here. And we like to think that the process is really self-explanatory, but we're happy to do as much as you would like to show you off in the product here.
Awesome. And when people do that, like, is there anything, like, I would imagine myself, like, a little hesitant, like, do I turn this on? What does that mean for me actually? Like, is that immediately kick in some pricing, or is that something like I need to figure out ahead of time?
Yeah. Look, I mean, if you go and enable this and go deploy it to all your organizations, listen, we're going to come talking and asking, how's this going? But we like to live in a soft billing license world, right? We are not sticklers and nickel and dimers that want to come after you as you've gone over one seat of something, right? So, look, you continue to use the product. We hope you find value and we'd like to work something out, but we don't want to stop you from getting started today. So, generally we operate in a mode of go ahead, we'll talk, keep using it, and we'll have to talk louder, right?
Gotcha.
So we want you all to be enabled to get started here, but do have those proactive conversations with your customers. Let me touch briefly on the billing model, at least once you have purchased the product and are using it. How do we bill here? Okay, so we bill for licensed users in Microsoft 365 with an inbox. Okay, as many of those as you are backing up is what you will be paying for here. That means that things like shared mailboxes are included. SharePoint sites are included here. We do not charge for storage here. It is only for licensed 365 users that you are backing up. And I want to also highlight something that I think sets us apart from others is if you were to deactivate an account in Microsoft 365, we hold on to that. A lot of companies, if you forgot to convert this to a shared mailbox, they see an unlicensed account in 365, they get rid of the data. And we don't really think that's fair because mistakes can happen. So if a user becomes unlicensed and they've already been backed up, we treat that the same. We keep the data and we call you unlicensed, but we still keep your backups. If you accrue 20% of unlicensed individuals, you go over that, we charge one more active seat. Okay, so if we try and make that a really fair policy, we want you to keep your data. We know that your data is important here. So again, we charge by licensed inboxes, and SharePoint is included, shared mailboxes are included, and we keep any accounts that lose a license but did have backup data.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Very cool that we've made it. I mean, obviously, we want people to get in there, see it, check it out, try it for themselves. We want to make that as easy as possible. That's really cool. Okay, a couple of questions. Let's stick with this first one here because it's sticking with licenses. So Christian says, well, okay, if I've got 100 SharePoint sites, how many licenses should I purchase?
Yep. Yeah. So we operate in a fair use model. We are not, we expect that you're here to back up your users, right? Look, if you're coming to us and trying to do a single seat and 100 sites with terabytes of data, look, we may reach out and talk about it. But in general, we keep the model fair, and we expect that other people are using the product fairly and not in a gamification way. Back up your users. Back up your users that you need to back up. We also know that people have unique business cases, right? You may have 40 seasonal workers that shuffle in and out, and you may not need to keep that data, but you do need to keep the data that they are building and working with in Microsoft SharePoint here, right? We understand that, right? Okay. So the model remains, right? And it's a nice fair use policy.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Dan. Here's one that's specific to Google. So you're talking about SharePoint. This is kind of a corollary, I'm guessing. Do you guys know if you're working on restoring Google Drive files and retaining file shares?
Yeah, I know that the Google Workspace feature set is constantly being reviewed and enhanced. I'm going to take that one offline. I don't know I don't have that explicitly today, but I know that there are some new Google enhancements coming, and we'll see if that's the case and see if we can bring out some more information as it comes.
Gotcha. And so for right now, it's really, we're talking about mailboxes on the Google.
No, I mean, like, so I think that's a very specific use case that they're trying to retain some of that share, some of that framework, if I'm understanding it correctly. We absolutely handle G Drive, the shared drive, and we have more to come in the future on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely not just inboxes.
Gotcha. Okay, and then let's see. So 2 questions here. Hey David, let's tackle yours first. So easy to check things out, try it out. Like you mentioned archiving being kind of a separate SKU. Is there any way to downgrade back from that once the rollout happens? Are people able to check it out and then downgrade it if they need to?
Not today. We believe our partners at Dropsuite can count on one hand the amount of time that it's come up. Most people understand that they need these capabilities for the 7-year retention, for the capabilities of the always-on backup, and so we rarely have had, almost if never, had people run into those situations.
All right, thanks. And David, feel free to follow up too if you have a follow-up question around that. Locas, anything? I'm assuming you're watching from the EU, so from Germany. So thanks for happy evening to you. Anything on the policy regarding users in Germany? So GDPR specifically, tighter compliance controls. How are we thinking about that, and how does the Saas backup take those types of things into account? Anything official?
Yeah, I know. So this is going to be speaking to a lot of the broader questions that I'm aware that our Dropsuite friends, ninjas now truly are working on in the future here. So I do know that there are some retention enhancements planned for the future, sort of to help better comply with some of the GDPR type stipulations. I will say, especially for some of the compliance frameworks around the European side, we do offer the capability of hosting your backups very specifically in the UK or the EU. It's UK and Germany for us here. But absolutely, all of the compliance frameworks are top of mind, we know, for those partners. I know that we're meeting a lot of them specifically, and so we can definitely share with you, if you reach out to us, definitely some of those frameworks and how we apply to it.
Yeah, and I mean, and what I think your answer is it? Am I correct in assuming that your answer is specifically talking about the Saas backup portion where,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, low cost. Like, I mean, there's also, obviously the existing Ninja backup that has been around, that's image and file and folder and everything.
Yep.
And different, I would imagine that like these sorts of things, how that applies to GDPR, and how Saas, maybe there are some differences there.
It becomes a very nuanced topic, but we
Yeah. Okay.
yes, we have these capabilities at hand
Okay. Cool.
of managing and being a part of these frameworks.
Awesome. Great. And Lucas, if it's helpful at all, I mean, feel free to reach out, either in the Discord, if you remember there, or you can reach out to your account manager. I believe we have some documentation and everything that we can hand over to maybe help you there. All right. Dan, we've interrupted you a lot. Anything else you wanted to show before we open it up to more questions?
Boy, let's see. I think we've covered a really great amount. I just want to highlight that the future is really bright. Our goal is to make an outstanding integration directly to the Dropsuite product, not just for ninjas, but for anyone that had Dropsuite directly from a distributor or directly from Dropsuite and does have a Ninja account. So stay tuned. We're not leaving you out in the cold here. We're going to be providing you the same level of experience and polish that you have come to expect with Ninja here. So I'd love to take as many questions as we have, try and do whatever we can.
All right. So you heard the man, folks. If you have any other questions, let us know. And immediately you got a couple. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, David just expressing that point of, easy to roll out, but then having that hesitation, at least like, is that a concern there? There's a hesitation of, is it, if I get in there, am I going to be locked in or whatever? So that's completely understandable, David. Locas has another follow-up question. Are backups encrypted?
Absolutely. Encrypted at rest, in transit. We've got some strong ciphers in there. It's part of our SOC 2 attestation that you can request from your account manager. Yeah, we take that very seriously.
Absolutely. And yeah, I can follow up with a link. I believe we have some links on our Trust Center that I can try to grab. Or Robin, if you're in the background here and listening, maybe you can try to grab those for us too, and we can put those in the chat, or in the very least in the description of this video after the fact. All right, what else, guys? Any other questions we got? Dan, I know that you've been on a bunch of these. With every major release you come back on. You've been on some other ones too, and I know from the get-go, once we started going down this path of integrating, you basically had there's the vision and the planning of really combining these experiences and having it be the thing that Ninja prides itself on, the single pane of management and everything. And it's cool to see things getting closer and closer to that point. Yeah, I don't know if folks are interested, any other details. I know timelines are always a tricky thing to talk about, but I don't know, any other things that you could mention in terms of like the next steps in that process?
Sure, and I'm always happy to overshare when I can, and as I feel confident here. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you some looks to the future here on what we believe some of the experience could be here, right? So what we're taking a look at here is hopefully going to come out this year, and it is the idea of what is our. Oops, I wanted to go up one more. What does a more comprehensive dashboard experience look like in the Saas backup, in the Dropsuite integrated world here with Ninja, right? So this actually looks kind of familiar to our endpoint backup dashboard here. And generally our idea here is at that global level to truly list all of your organizations that have Saas backup enabled, giving you clear information about how many seats in what region, and if you are using the regular or the archive or SKU of the platform, giving you a good global view of the seats because you're paying for seats. It's good to have some of the most important numbers for you at your fingertips, as well as just giving you valuable insights and information about what is currently happening. At an organization level, as allowing you to drill down, we have some similar information here, right? Not only do I want to tell you just for this single organization here, but I want to list the users that are being backed up. Is this a user account or a shared mailbox? Giving you the last bit of information here. Guys, I should have mentioned this up front. These are mocks and designs, so maybe a button is out of place, or like, why is this empty? That sort of thing, right? We're just covering all the bases for how things should look here, right? But also in terms of this, we want to give you that capability of being able to launch directly to that console to perform those restore actions. In the next iteration, you're going to have a very similar experience to this as we're listing all of the accounts. We're allowing these we call them row actions, where you can jump directly to an organization ready to perform a restore. This will also see the first introduction of a Ninja Saas backup permission class on the Ninja side, giving you view or admin capabilities. View wouldn't let you see these buttons, but it would still give you good information, right? So this is some of the direction that we are traveling on, trying to provide a good experience. I'll say it's hard work integrating two products. And as a product manager, my engineering team would be surprised if I said we're not going fast enough, right? That's part of what a PM always does. We've got some good stuff in store, so we appreciate all the patience as we look to deeply further this integration. We are committed to doing it right. We're not a mudslinging organization, but we would be silly to not understand that communities have oftentimes felt not benefited from the user experience or the user side during acquisitions. We have no intention of traveling down those same roads and areas. I think we really focus on this user experience. We focus on making sure you have a great support experience by overstaffing our support teams, as I think you may have heard from us in the past. It's why we typically go less on the contract side and locking you into things like this. So really, we approach all of this as trying to make sure that we're doing it right for you. So hopefully that is other good information I can share.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think another way of wording that is, we're not going to F this up. Like we hold that as a big North Star and a big responsibility. And yeah, so I see a couple other comments. If there's any other questions, everybody, otherwise we could probably wrap this up. But Scott, I just wanted to mention, like Dan commented on, loud and clear, anything that's a big requirement for you all, those are the types of things we love to hear about. And so, and also the more that you let us know that, the more cases we can point to, that's how, Dan gets to go over and help prioritize developments and everything. So feature requests, any kind of needs that you have, definitely let the folks know. Your account manager, if that's who you're talking with, if you're a prospect and you're working with the salesperson, let them know. If you're a Ninja customer and you're already using these products, you can fill in the feature request forms and product board and all that. Just be clear about it, and we are definitely listen to all of those requests, and we want to. That's the whole point, right? We want to make this the tools that you need, and we want to check all the boxes that you need. So, yeah, thank you for coming in to this, getting a look at what's new, and asking all these questions. Dan, you are giving me a little tantalizing cue there. So for endpoint backup, here we are. 9.0 just went out. Our release cadence is getting pretty consistent and pretty quick. 10.0 is already basically in the oven, right? But you just asked if you want to give them these sneak peeks. And I'm always going to say yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, good. I want to highlight some things that I'm really excited about for 10.0. That is the next release. I know we're talking about being a ninja with 9.0, but I always like to share the future here, right? So let's go ahead and pop that screen back out here, right? So I like to talk about security enhancements whenever I can here, right? So if you're not familiar, we have a few system level activities for the backup product. These are activities that can't be enabled at the policy, which also means they couldn't have been accidentally not set up or accidentally disabled here. These are things around, has a backup data deletion been scheduled, right? Some of you might be familiar that for any user initiated backup deletion of endpoint backup, we hold that for 72 hours. We force you to 2FA. And we can alert on that as well to stakeholders. Okay. This is a huge concern of customers of, is the data going to be there? Could something happen to it, accidental or malicious, right? Not only are we going to alert on if it has been scheduled or forced or if it actually completed during that 72-hour window, but we're getting a new one here for backup retention lowered. I consider the idea of lowering your retention from 6 months to 2 weeks a data deletion and security incident here. So this will go from file folder to our new image, or even if you're still an old existing customer on our legacy image backup product, if you adjust a retention value to lower, you can get a notification on it. So I think that's pretty darn cool here, right? Along with this, we have a long-awaited request for network share backup. And this is ready in our latest version coming out in 10.0 here. Now, you're not going to find this policy at a you're not going to find this at a policy level, root level setting. These are only node level. You're going to be using an agent to do the work of going to that network share, going to that Synology or that QNAP, and going ahead and taking care of it. You'll find this very familiar to our file folder, where we allow you to specify where you want to target, and allowing you to create a credential on the fly or specify which network share credential you would want. This is going cloud only, but it is working fantastic. And basically, it will operate just like any other backup plan on a schedule, allowing you to kick it off as necessary here. And we know this has been a big ask in the community to see this here. Looking at my list of what I should be going over next, back into that policy here, we also have the capability of extending retention longer than 12 months. So we know a lot of our customers were very interested in the 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10-year type of retention strategies. We were always going to do it, but we decided we would kick that down the road until the product had actually been over a year old of our new image format here. You'll be capable of adjusting your current plans with no issue. This is only cloud only. But we know this will help with a lot of compliance frameworks here that people need. So once you adjust something to beyond 12 months, instead of stopping at you specifying how many weekly backups you want to keep for how many weeks, we'll give you the flexibility of saying how many months of monthly backups that you want to keep here, right? So I think this is going to be a pretty nice area for our customers. All right, I'm going to show off the real early access stuff, the real first round here. And that comes in the form of our boot verification here. So this is going to be available in a beta as part of our 10.0 release. It allows the periodic and automated testing of your images stored in cloud to bring it into a virtual machine to prove that we can boot this machine and get it to a login. Okay. So this is going to be really important. We're super excited about it. We know a lot of other companies out there have this technology, and we're excited to bring it to you. And stay tuned as we continue to work on this capability. Unfortunately, patience has become a virtue, and we're looking forward to providing that to our customers here. I think that's probably some of the biggest stuff that we could discuss as what 10.0 is coming here. So happy to take any questions on it or any other endpoint backup questions or interests.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan, for spilling the tea, for giving us a little preview. I can't resist those.
I know I can't.
Those juicy sneak peeks. Thanks for that. So I popped up the QR code to our Discord. Please, everybody, if you're not a member there, check it out. Dive in. You'll find a load of other Ninja users asking questions, offering information. Spencer in the comments, he's there. Giving us lots of helpful answers and suggestions, sharing their own experiences with Ninja. You'll also find Dan there. You can tag him and ask him questions. All of our PMs are active in there, keeping an eye on people's requests, what they're running into, what their experiences are, and sharing things. It's also where we can get people into early beta signups. If that's something that you're interested in doing, your account manager can help give you an NDA, and you can get access to the really secret good stuff and be an early provider of feedback, which is always super appreciated. Okay, so one last question, I think, Dan, and it's from Christian again. He mentioned the SharePoint sites before, and is kind of clarifying, what if someone in his use case where not really interested in actually backing up the email accounts, really just wants like the SharePoint sites. Is there an option for that?
Reach out. Let's talk,
Okay.
I don't have a quick answer on that, but we're always interested in being creative to meet your needs. We don't want you to have to look elsewhere. So happy to talk.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, everybody, this is a great session. Good questions. Dan, thanks so much for coming in and over delivering, which you always do. You came in, you talked about 9.0, you talked a lot about 10.0, and so appreciate you as always. We'll see you again real soon, I'm sure. And David with a final comment of yay, boot verify. So thumbs up there. Thanks everybody for joining. We have one more session tomorrow in 9.0 week, and we're going to be closing things out with Gavin Stone and Kit. And so we have members of the mainline RMN team who are going to be talking about some cool changes there, some things that are going to help you out with your ongoing, never-ending quest to automate more of your workflows. So join us again tomorrow for that. And otherwise, anyone who jumped in late, the whole recording will be available right after the stream ends. Thank you, everybody, once again. Dan, thank you.
Yep, my pleasure. Talk to you all soon.